Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to another Friday night preview night show. Big one, people. It's the Manchester Derby. For those that don't know what this derby is all about, it's the two local teams in Manchester going to head in the ultimate battle, divided by postcode, divided by probably about 3 miles. This is the big one, people. We're having it. But let's introduce the guests as we always do. Big up to everybody who's watching. Please hit the like on the video. Please subscribe if you're new. Adam, how are you, brother? It's good to have you back.
I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, bro. I'm good. It's been a while with school and everything, so I'm happy to be in here for the preview of the derby.
Absolutely. Charlie, mate, how are you? Everything all good?
Yeah, man, all good. I actually forgot, earlier on the week, I actually forgot it's the derby on Sunday. It just skipped my mind. But, I'm hopeful we've got a good record there. So fingers crossed.
Absolutely. And Statman Baines, what are you telling me? The two players in the background were in the infamous combined 11. That means you must agree with me because you brought the.
Listen, you fight that battle yourself.
Listen, you brought the green screen. Change your green screen, isn't it? That means you agree with me.
I'm going to keep the green screen, yeah, but your combined 11 was the shambles, I can't lie.
It was a shambles, but listen, people, we are going to discuss that towards the end of the video. We want to talk about the Ten Hag rumors are escalating first. Obviously, we have the Manchester derby, but Adam, I want to start with you. Man United contact Ten Hag is the latest news we're hearing. How big is it now that United at least are contacting Ten Hag to make sure he's available, to make sure that they're the prime, he's a prime target that they want to get? How important is that for you?
Are you addressing to me, Saeed?
Yeah, sorry, Adam. Yeah, you.
Yeah, so basically, my computer lagged a bit. I think it's a big thing. I think it's very, very important. And it's not so surprising because we're a club looking for a manager, so only makes sense to do those things. I just don't know how much we can trust it because, we saw the Ragnick press conference, and he's not in talk with the board, and he's not really does he have an input or something? So just as a whole, it's a bit weird. But if this is true and there looks to be something in it, I'm happy about it because I think Ten Hag is a very, very good manager. I don't know if he will be allowed to do whatever he needs to succeed. So that's another conversation. But I'm very happy with Ten Hag being linked to us because I think he's one of the best managers out there. Like the one that suits us the most, maybe. If we spend, of course, because we need players to fit Ten Hag. But yes, I think it's a very good shout, and I think it's important that we start looking at those things because we talked about it, but I'm not. I think Pochettino's a good manager, but I'm happy at least that he's not the only option because we saw Ancelotti this week as well and stuff like that. So Ten Hag is looking at the right direction, 100%.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Charlie? Does that make sense now? You know what I mean? He should be the prime focus. I know there's Pochettino link, but these are short-term options. The board would like, also Pochettino, but how important is it to you that they focus on Ten Hag?
Yeah. For me, I think Ten Hag would be first choice. Look, I think Pochettino is a good manager. I think he did some very good things at Spurs with the budget that he was on. But I've still got I've got reservations about Ten Hag as well. I think both of them they're sort of the best of the rest. I think Pep and Klopp, you could add Tuchel. I think you maybe could add into that bracket. I think those three, maybe along with Nagelsmann, I think he's a very good manager as well. But I do think that Ten Hag and Poch are maybe the step down from Pep and Klopp, and I think they do need to still prove themselves. But Ten Hag's done great things at Ajax. The only issue I've got is that he's working with a great structure there. We haven't got that structure here. Obviously, with Rangnick going up, up to a consultancy role, that may improve. But I still have doubts about how much Rangnick can influence the Glazers. I think it'll still be the same things going on. I think we may just have a better advisor in there giving them information. Whether the Glazers will take that on board, I just don't know. Whether the board will take that on board. But yeah, for me, Ten Hag would be the first choice. I think that he would. I think he'd find gems in signings rather. I think Pochettino would sign more obvious players. I think Ten Hag would find more international players, and therefore I think they'd be cheaper. I think we'd be able to use our budget quite well, hopefully in the summer. So look, let's hope.
Let's hope.
You're on mute, Saeed.
I think.
Oh, my bad. Apologies. Isn't it a bit concerning? No top club want Ten Hag, and he's still coaching the Dutch league, and he's 52 stat man. What do you make of that one?
I've always said this. You see, with age, I feel like every manager / player's career is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can necessarily say just because he's 52, he's still in the Eredivisie, that means he's a bad manager. Because you could argue, after his contract finishes at Ajax, Man City could be looking at him as well.
Yeah, true.
Was he not at Bayern Munich's second team before as well?
Yeah.
So he's kind of, you could argue he's kind of broken out late because from what I know, he started management at Go Ahead Eagles around 2012.
So
you
then
could
he
argue
went to Germany for a bit.
Yeah, so you could argue he's only really been a manager for 10 years. That's not really a very, very long time, you could argue.
But I always say with managers that have started late, maybe they've been studying the game a bit longer than they've managed. Maybe some managers come in and they want the job straight away and it doesn't work out for them. And then, you know what I mean? Gary Neville knows that. You know what I mean? He didn't have no experience, went to Valencia, and look what happened there. I'm not taking a piss, but some managers think, that they can get opportunity and they think they're going to fit in, but it doesn't work. Some managers like to study the game and then get opportunities late in life. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, there's for me, I never look at age and look whether you can determine a manager. It's all about experience for me. And Ten Hag for me has got the experience. He's got the know-how. He's been in positions and he's been in Ajax for a long time. So for me, like I said to you, it should leave us in good stead, for him to come to Man United. Let's just hope that he does come in. But we do have the Manchester derby, and this is the main topic of the evening. Adam, how big is this one? The Manchester derby, you know what I mean? It's we've got a good record there, 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah. True.
How do you see this one playing? We're not playing rubbish. We're playing, we're creating chances. It's not as if we don't like watching United. It's just that they piss us off because they can't finish the dinner. They can't take their chances, and we're frustrated. But like I said, you're making chances, not putting them away. So how do you then assess this Manchester derby if we're going into it?
I'm a bit scared, if I'm being honest, because technically a counter-pressing team like a Rangnick or a club team is actually the best fit for a Pep team because the system is actually tailored to counter a Pep team and a total football type of team like Manchester City, for example. But the thing is, we are not drilled well enough and we are not there yet. So we might be exposed a bit too much. If we won our last few games and we did make so many draws, I'd be happy with a draw at City now. But I think we actually do need to win this game and it's going to expose us a bit. But with the players we have at the moment, especially Pogba, Ronaldo, Varane, there's there's a big player, big team mentality. So and when they're going there, they don't want to be underdogs going to Manchester City. This is something Ronaldo doesn't relate to. He doesn't even consider Man City to be a big team because from his time in England, they weren't. So I'm a bit scared, to be honest. I'm a bit scared because if we had been with Rangnick or with Hasenhüttl or with Klopp for 3 years, 2-3 years, you would say, you know what, with the quality of players we have, we're actually the best team to face a Pep Guardiola team. But at the moment, I think it's just too early. We're not that team yet. But we need to win. Like a draw would be okay, but given the context and circumstances, I think we should try to win this game. It's a difficult one. It's a very difficult one.
Charlie, how do you see this game going? You know what I mean? Man City, I feel like Man City always try to overthink this game. They try and outsmart us. I feel like there's a bit of arrogance about them. Maybe rightly so because of they win trophies, but they almost think that United are what they used to be. And it's not the same way, is it? You know what I mean? We still have quality. It's just that we're underperforming. I feel like they look at us and think, yeah, man, we could batter these a lot. And then they end up getting surprised by Dan James last season. Martial, players that step up their game in these kind of, big games. How do you see this one going, at the Etihad as well?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm glad it's at the Etihad. I think we've had a terrible record at Old Trafford against Man City recently, and we've got a very good record at the Etihad. And I honestly wish we had. I don't really. Maybe Sancho instead of Dan James, but I wish we had Martial fit for this game with Rashford.
Yeah.
Rashford. Look, I think Adam has a similar opinion. I didn't think Rashford was ever incredible, but Marcus Rashford, when Marcus Rashford is scoring goals and assists, he does contribute in that way to the team, and he has a very good record against Manchester City at getting goals and assists. And I think with you could talk about McFred. They tend to do pretty well against Man City. With Bruno at number 10 or Lingard at number 10, we've had that before under Ollie with James, Rashford, and Martial, and that suited us really, really well because we just countered with pace. We hit them on the counter, and we just nullified them. But tomorrow's going to be a bit different, as Adam said, with Ranić. Ranić doesn't like to sit back in his own half. He likes to play proactive football. Can you do that against this Man City team? I think you can, but you need to be clever about it. If you do what Leeds do against Manchester City, you'll obviously get hammered to death. If you go, man mark everybody, they've just got too much quality. But Tottenham went there and won. And that, Son and Kane were obviously crucial to that, and also Kulusevski, who played very well. But in terms of tomorrow, I think, in terms of Sunday, I think we're going to obviously suffer in terms of possession. We're going to have to suffer for a lot of the time. But I do think that Manchester City have weaknesses. And what you've got to remember is that Manchester City are under a bit of pressure. Liverpool are in great form. You've got Luis Diaz, who's come in great form. Liverpool have got...
He's out, by the way.
No, I mean Diaz.
Oh, so Liverpool. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah,
my apologies.
Yeah, so they've got new players coming in. Liverpool, they're very, very strong at the moment. There is a bit of pressure on Manchester City. I know they're used to this, but a few weeks ago, people were thinking the title was over, and now they'll be looking over their head a little bit, Manchester City. So I think we've got a chance. I do fancy us to get a goal, but I don't know. This team is very, very unpredictable. I suppose we'll go into the lineups later, but I would make a few big calls for Sunday. Personally, I'd drop a couple of one or two big players. It might be unpopular, but we've got to play well as a team. And I think we'll see.
You know what? You started the debate there. Statman, I'm gonna go to your guy, your GOAT. Do Man United drop Ronaldo for this game? And we had a chat yesterday on your channel. Make sure you check it out, people, on his Twitch. But do we drop Ronaldo? Because the success we've had in the past couple of years is that Martial has been able to hold up the ball for Man United. Do we drop Ronaldo? Yes or no?
You heard my answer yesterday. I would drop Cristiano Ronaldo for this game.
You would?
I know you're going to be shocked here. I would. Adam shocked already, but the reason
why is that?
The reason I say
no.
I think
seriously, I just
the reason I think we should drop Cristiano Ronaldo is because for me, you said it before, the biggest success that we've had against City has been on the break.
Yeah, and
I think, listen, as a team, we're gonna have to defend very, very well. I think against Chelsea when we played them with Michael Carrick, I think we done extremely well, especially in the first half, and we had, I think, Rashford and Sancho as split strikers that day.
Yeah.
So that's why I said to you yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't mind if Ralph took the big decision, benched Cristiano Ronaldo in this game, and played someone like Bruno, Sancho, and Elanga as the front three.
Yeah.
And then just packed the midfield out with Matic, Pogba, and Fred. I think that could leave us with a better chance of winning this game. And I think we need to remember, Ronaldo's played 7 games in 22 days before that.
Yeah.
I said this to you yesterday. The more
we play a lot of games.
The more we play Ronaldo, the worse he's going to get right now.
Yeah, that's true.
He needs a rest. Cavani, I think, is back in the squad. Let's say about the better kind of thing, innit?
Yeah. He never guaranteed. Ralph. He said we'll have to wait until the day. In terms of.
I'll be honest. I think Cavani will be in the squad, though, innit? Probably on the bench. So that's another option. But let's see, innit? I just think it's the right call to bench him.
Listen, didn't Saeed put Ronaldo in a Man City combined 11, and now he's saying bench him? Listen, I've put the question out there. For everyone to ask. The forward line is a key component, Adam. When you look at it, we need the ball to stick up front. City are not going to give us a lot of room. They press in zones. They're very aggressive in their pressing. They keep the ball. We need to keep a shape up front. And also, when we do get the ball, we need to stick there. It needs to, let people come into play. Let the fullbacks go wide, and it has to be a vocal point. Having Ronaldo there, he doesn't give you that. He drops in deep sometimes, goes out wide, but then again, he is a fox in a box, and he can give you that one chance, maybe one goal. How do you assess Ronaldo up front? Do we need him up front? Who do them go for up front?
The thing is, if you play Ronaldo up front, and I would agree, and this is ironic because I would actually play Ronaldo instead of Statman. We always had this conversation, but the first time you drop him, and I would actually pick him.
This is interesting.
So this is interesting. But my point is,
so why would you
Ronaldo,
keep him on then?
It depends. If you play Ronaldo, you can't play Rashford, Bruno, and Bissaka. And if you play one of those other three players, you can't play Ronaldo because you need to keep the balance. So if you play with Cristiano Ronaldo, you need to have Dalot and Luke Shaw or Telles. You need to have Elanga and Sancho, and you can't have Rashford or Bruno. So I would play, like Statman said, Matic, Pogba, and Fred, and whoever in midfield, if you play Ronaldo. But if you don't play Ronaldo, then you could play a Rashford or Bruno. But you can't have two. Ronaldo and Rashford can't play in the same team. You can't have the three of them. You can't have two of those three. So if you play with Ronaldo, drop Rashford and Bruno. And I think for this game, given it's a derby, it's a big game, we need it. I fancy Ronaldo's mentality way more than Rashford or Bruno. I think he would be more up for the fight, and he knows how important it is. So I would play Ronaldo, but I wouldn't play Bruno, and I wouldn't play Rashford. And I wouldn't play Aaron Bissaka either, because now if you have Ronaldo who can't make the ball stick, like Martial said, for example, well, then you need all of the other players to make it stick. I would have loved to have Donny van de Beek for this game. I would have played Pogba, Matic, and Van de Beek, and you drop Bruno, and then you can play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Would have made sense to me. So, but if you play Bruno, I don't want to see Ronaldo up front, because then you have two enemies of progress, like the flow.
Exactly. Yeah. Just before I bring you in, Charlie, and Toby, big up to you guys, big up to the man. CR7 can't hold the ball or take the man on. Leave Tole. Bruno would be an awful false nine against any team. His touch is meaty and can't dribble at all. Jadon Sancho is our actual number 10. You know what? I think Ronaldo's game has changed, and like I said to you, he hasn't got the ability anymore to dribble like he used to. Need Tony, well, he's at Sevilla, and Sevilla are enjoying the fruits of that. Charlie, what do you think? Who do you agree on? Obviously, I'm not giving my opinion, but this is a show for the panels. Charlie, what do you reckon? It's split right in the middle.
Look at Saeed trying to win the question.
You're dodging the bullets, you are tonight.
No, I'll go after you. I'll go after you.
Oh God, it's a tough one. Look, I think there's a few different ways we can go about this game, to be honest. I would personally try and keep the game a little bit tight in the first 60 minutes. That's what I would do. And I know Ricky, if you watch Ricky, he's always on about playing Matic, McTominay and Fred, all three of them. And we actually did that against Chelsea away. And we actually, nullified. I know Manchester City are a completely different team, and Chelsea had a lot of players out on that day as well. But we did nullify Chelsea on that day, and they got a lucky penalty. But I would play two of Matic, McTominay and Fred. I'd play two of those. I wouldn't play all three. And then Ronaldo, I would drop Ronaldo personally.
Why is that?
I just think we cannot, against Manchester City, you're not going to get a lot of the ball, and the ball that you do get, you've got to be able to keep. And I don't think Ronaldo, particularly for Ronaldo, Bruno and Rashford altogether, I don't think we could do that. I think Adam is right. I would personally go for, it's a bit of a tough one. We haven't really got that many options, but I would maybe go with some sort of split strikers, maybe Elanga and Sancho. We could do that. With Bruno at number 10, and then you could have Pogba and Fred as two. If you got a diamond, maybe Pogba and Fred on the sides, and McTominay is the 6, or you could play Matic as well instead. But it's a tough one. It really is a tough thing. It totally depends on what Ranieri wants to do. I don't know. Also, centre back is a tough one. You know, Maguire is better in a lower block. Will he pick Maguire? But I don't think he deserves to play. But he probably will play. It's very, very difficult. Do we want to keep it tight 60 minutes and then bring on Ronaldo? You know, see if we can nick a goal, or are we just going to go for it? You know, so I don't know. I think we need. I don't think Rashford deserves to play, to be honest with you.
No.
And I think Elanga can cause Man City big problems. I think he's in very good form. I think he played very well against Watford. And I think Man City's fullbacks in particular struggle one-on-one. I think Kyle Walker's better than Cancelo, but I think Cancelo is quite weak one-on-one defensively. So I think we can hit them. So yeah, we'll see.
I think it all depends on the style and approach. The thing for me, I think we've got to play 2 up top, but then does that mean we have to play 3 at the back? That I think that's the only way we're going to do it. We might have to play 3 at the back, and then play Elanga and Ronaldo up top. But the thing is, though, we need 2 up top. So that's what I'm going to ask you now, Statman. If you were to choose a 2 up top, who would you choose if we were to play a 3 at the back? Would you go for a Sancho and Elanga up top, like a split strikers, and maybe just cause City problems in that way? And then when you do that, you can keep your shape better.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it will be similar. I would like to see us similar to how we played against Chelsea, innit? So that would have to, like, don't get me wrong, Rashford on his day will be a perfect for a game like this in the split striker.
Yeah, on his day, yeah.
But the problem is I cannot trust Rashford right now, which is costing him his spot. I think Elanga, extremely good right now. Looking probably one of our best attackers. I think against Watford, he was our best attacker.
Yeah.
Every single time he got the ball, he was direct to running. And I think that will cause City problems. And then the other side, it would have to be Sancho because we've got no one else kind of thing. And I think Sancho, he's been on decent form. He can carry the ball reasonably well. You trust him in the final third to find the correct pass as well. A lot more than you trust other players. And then it has to be Bruno in behind because don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be mad seeing Jesse there, but let's be honest, Jesse's never really going to play over Bruno.
And it's not picked up any form. That's the problem with some of these players. They've not picked up any form. And that's the reality. And, yeah, go on.
No, I said Jesse, he doesn't look fit. Like, he doesn't have his normal pace. Like, he's quicker than that usually. So I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm going to stick to you, Statman Beans. I want to talk about the midfield balance because I feel like the midfield balance is crazy. I don't know what it is. People are telling me that we miss McTominay in there. But then when McTominay plays, he has a good first half and then a bad second half. Like, I don't know. It's a mixture bag with McTominay. You know, the Southampton game was poor, but then he might have a good Brentford second half. And then he'll have maybe a good game against Leeds in terms of second half. But then, you know, it's different with our midfield. But then you also talk about the Pogba and Bruno balance in there. What makes it imbalanced for you, Pogba and Bruno?
I just don't think. I think offensively we know the quality they had, but defensively there's still massive weaknesses in both of the games, and that's also down to the defensive discipline. Like I think Ralph Hasenhüttl spoke about in terms of the defensive, like the offensive transition could target that midfield.
Yeah,
and when you have Scott McTominay's not a natural 6.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. And I've always said this here. When Pep did the what do you call it? The 2 attack 8s with David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, he had the fullbacks tucking in as well. Our fullbacks don't do that. It's a lot easier to break through us, which is why I still don't think Pogba and Bruno work. Which is why I got Bruno playing further ahead, and then you have a Fred coming in with Matic. So Pogba, Fred, and Matic together.
Even on the left, Pogba, it worked a little bit, but you know, like I said to you, it wasn't as fluid. You know what I mean? I think Elanga shone more. Adam, how do you see the Pogba Bruno thing? Would you like to see Pogba playing more further forward, and then maybe Bruno as a more sitting deep? But then again, like I said to you, they're not disciplined in the balance of what we're trying to do, and we do lose space in behind, and then they get the 6 gets isolated. How do you then rectify that? How do you get the best out of it?
To be honest, I wouldn't play Bruno. I would play Matic, Pogba, and Fred or McTominay, to be honest, because I think Elanga and Sancho need to play. Ronaldo needs to play probably just because you don't even have an option. And I wouldn't play. The thing with City, when we get the ball, let's suppose we manage to get some good pressing patterns and we win the ball back quite quickly, for example, you need Matic or Pogba on the ball. You absolutely need one of those two because they're actually two of our best passers. We need to exploit the space, and you need Sancho and Elanga because they are actually quick and they actually have a good. Sancho has a great touch, and Elanga is decent. He's very good as well. So you need Pogba and Matic, one of those two players. Bruno. The thing with Bruno, you never know what he can do, and neither does he. Like sometimes he just hopes. Sometimes he just smash. Sometimes it's a beautiful ball. Sometimes he just feels like he's aiming at something or someone in the stands. It actually does my head in quite often these days, and I think it's very, very important. We need Pogba or Matic because when we have the ball, which I don't expect us to have a lot of, we need to have good passes and we need to get good people controlling and receiving that ball on the end of that. So Sancho and Elanga are important, and Dalot is important to me as well because when you try to shift in transition, I think Dalot is actually a very good outlet to be playing on the right. So Pogba and Matic have to play for me, and probably Fred because we'll need more running. And the thing is, and this is because of the refereeing, when you have big players, they get called fouls more often, but not because it's a foul, just because they are big players. This is why N'Golo Kante and Herrera, Fred, they are actually so good at defending and pressing. But just because they're actually smaller, Pogba doesn't make a foul, Matic doesn't make a foul, and McTominay doesn't make a foul, and they always get the referee always blows the whistle. So I would put Fred there because his work rate is insane and he's more likely to get the ball back easier without getting fouled all the time. And I think it's very, very important.
Absolutely. I've got a super chat here from Adam Knows Ball. Matic actual sick. Fred legs that can Matic lacks. Pogba at 10, our best midfielder by several country miles. We're sourcing these blue frauds. Well, Toby, let's you know what I mean. Let's chill out on that one at the end. You know what I mean. But Charlie, what do you reckon your best midfield balance is? Nobody can give you a concrete answer. That's why it's a very, very good debate. You know, you would probably say lockdown. It was Matic, Pogba, Bruno, obviously McTominay and Fred Rose. What do you like to see in that midfield?
Well, I think you have to change it depending on who you're playing. To be honest. Somebody just put a really good comment in about Matic. Matic was very good in the first half against Watford. His progressive passing. There's this stupid argument. Some people just don't watch it. There's some stupid people going around saying Matic always passes backwards. It's a complete opposite. Matic is our best. Honestly, I think he's our best passer. I think Matic is our best ground passer. I honestly do on the ground. Those crisp passes, through the lines. But the issue with Matic is, he is. But the issue we have with Matic is that Matic cannot play at that level for 90 minutes, in my opinion. I think every game we see, I think against Watford, after about an hour, you could see Matic was starting to slow down slightly. That's why we've got a problem with Matic. Do we start him on Sunday and get 60 minutes out of him, but then the last half an hour, he's not going to be as effective? Or do we play McTominay, Fred, Pogba, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, and then bring on a Matic, hoping that we're winning the game or drawing the game, and bring on Matic then to change the game? So that's just that's sort of the balance. Against teams where we're going to have more of the ball, I would play Matic, Pogba, and Bruno. I'd play Pogba a little bit deeper because we saw against Southampton when they both play higher up, we get caught out. But against opponents like City, I'm afraid you have to play McTominay and Fred. In my opinion, I think they both have to start really. And as Adam said, I think Fred's very, very good in these sort of games. And McTominay, in all fairness, I don't think he's a fantastic player, but he is being played out of position, the same as Fred has been. They've both been playing this sort of number 6 role. So I think that is our best option for this game, to start the game, McTominay and Fred. I don't really like that pairing, but, we can't do much else at the moment. So
yeah, absolutely. Over 400 who's watching, people. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 200 at least. Big up to everybody who's watching. Subscribe if you're new. Follow everybody in the chat. Statman Baines, we have to talk about the mystery of Dalot. Everybody's bringing out stories about if he'd never shown his gash on Instagram. Maybe Ralph Ragnick didn't like that. I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. Since that gash, he's not played since. You know what I mean? I don't know if he played through pain. The medical team didn't like that. But Wan-Bissaka's got ahead of Dalot I've only said it because I feel like for me, the problem with our team now, we're solid defensively. So maybe Ragnick has thought maybe there's someone who on that side might be the weak point, and maybe he's looked at Dalot. I don't know. What do you think is why Dalot isn't starting, and why we have it? Why is the fullbacks keep changing? What do you think?
I don't think anyone really knows, to be fair. I think against Atletico, you can kind of understand why he went with Victor Lindelof. I think at Leeds, Wan-Bissaka's athleticism, you can kind of understand it. And then, I'll be honest, against Watford, it did surprise me that he went with Wan-Bissaka instead of Diego Dalot, because I thought that Dalot was the miss in that game. I don't think anyone really knows. I think in a game like this, it depends on what Ralph does. Because he could look at Wan-Bissaka's record against Sterling, for example, and say he's very, very good and play him. But then at the same time, Dalot, in terms of progressing the ball, you need him. Because like we spoke about yesterday, in terms of progressive passes, he's second behind Paul Pogba in the side. I think he's extremely, extremely vital in a game like this.
And
especially
it's weird
if you do sit back, you need him like passing the ball forward, because he fizzes the ball in very, very nicely as well.
Yeah. And it's weird because Adam, it's weird, Adam, because he was on a roll, he was doing well, and all of a sudden he's out of the team. But and also Ralph Rangnick does talk about the fact that he does love seeing players who progressive, who are going up and down that touch. Like he's actually said it, So it's kind of weird, isn't it? How it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I, like Statman said, I don't think anyone knows, to be honest, really. I don't know it. The last game against Watford, I thought it was weird, but he's probably one of the players that played every single game. At least I think he has one of the most the most minutes since Ragnick came in. So maybe he was rested a bit since we have important games coming. So. But I don't get it. I think he's very important. I think he needs to play. And I think he's been one of our best players since Ragnick came to United. So I think he needs to play. And if we see Aaron Wan-Bissaka tomorrow, I'd be surprised. I really would be surprised, because we need players who can control the ball and pass it. And as Statman said, he fizzles it very, very nicely. Very nicely. He's a good player overall. Maybe his crossing, people have criticized him for sometimes he just skies it, and that's fair enough. But he also has a good cross on him. So, and often on the cross on the floor is something like we need to stretch the pitch and then just fizzle it on the ground in the box. This is the type of goals we need to score a bit more, like the one that got called offside, the Teles pass to Ronaldo. I think this is the goals I'd like to see more often, like proper football goals. And I think Dalot is one of the players that can actually do that. So going back to your question, I really don't know what to think about it. I hope he plays, and I expect him to play, but if he doesn't, it's weird.
And for me, Charlie, I'm sorry, man. I don't rate Luke Shaw anymore. I personally want him sold in the summer. I think to me his time is done. Statman, I think you've seen it loud and clear. On his day, I hate this word, on his day, Luke Shaw. Tennis for me is very, very. I think he had a decent game against Watford. Was putting the balls in, putting the crosses in, and I thought he had a bit of a link-up play with Sancho when he came on. Who do you think starts? Who do you think should be your fullback for you in terms of left back? What do you think?
Look, I don't think. Yeah, somebody's just commented they're both average. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree there. The
thing is, for me though, when people say they're both average, I don't think Telles has had enough game time to be called average for me. Like I don't know. Am I just going like that? I think Telles hasn't had enough game time to build up the fact that people could just dismiss him as average. He needs game time, and he doesn't get that. I don't know why, but go on.
I think the issue we've got is that we've got so many little problems adding up that it's affecting every player in the team. So, for example, this about David De Gea. I know obviously we might come across that in the combined 11 or whatever later.
Yeah. Let's have it.
I'm not going to say too much about that. But with David De Gea, like he is getting a lot of criticism at the moment about his distribution, and rightly so. Obviously, he needs to improve on it. But there's so many little factors. You can talk about De Gea's distribution, Ronaldo's hold-up play. You can talk about Rashford. You can talk about Shaw. You could talk about the centre halves. You know, Varane getting injured all the time. There's so many little issues building up that we haven't had sort of a sustainable team for 5 or 6 matches where we've played the same back four, the same midfield two, because we have to keep chopping and changing because we haven't got in midfield. Matic is, I think, our best. Well, he's our only holding midfielder really, but he's our best sort of defensive midfielder. But he can't play every 3 or 4 days at the level we want him to. And you've got Pogba, who is getting injured quite a lot, and then Pogba comes in, and then we think, oh, the midfield isn't balanced, then we need to take him back out. We just cannot get with the squad that we've got at the moment, we cannot name a sustainable team. So these issues, like as you said, Saeed, can we really judge Telles? I think he's a decent left back. I think he's a decent left back. But for me, I've seen enough to say to me that he won't be our left back starting. If we were to return to the great land of winning titles, he will not be our left back. I think he could be a backup left back, but I don't think he will be our starting left back. But like, can we actually judge? Well, that's what I'm saying, Saeed. We're only going to sign 3 or 4 players in the summer. If 3, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. We're not. If we can get some frees or loans, maybe more. But we're going to have to address the main issues. And left back for me is not the biggest issue. It's the same with right back. I think we can deal with the 4 fullbacks we've got at the moment. We can deal with it. But they wouldn't be the first areas to look at for me. But I would play. I would play Shaw, funnily enough, on Sunday. And I just think the type of opponent we're up against, I think Shaw would be better because I think Telles is a little bit restricted in his play. I think he struggles to. He cannot go past the player very well. I know Shaw isn't doing that well at the moment as well. But I actually prefer Shaw to Telles in terms of the progressive play. So that's who I'd start. I think he'd suit the opponent better.
Cool. Right, let's do the team. I don't know what are these bots. I've literally put it on subscriber mode. Oh my god, mods, please, man. I can't be asked, seriously. It's too much of them, man. But anyway, people, combine 11, not combine 11 because I've done my combine 11. We're gonna do the team. We're gonna do the team. What formation are we going for? It
has to be 4-3-3, I suppose, since it's the most consistent thing we've had recently.
Yeah, makes sense. David De Gea, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, Saeed, be careful, Saeed.
Be careful, mate. Be careful. Way. All right, cool. David De Gea, inlet. Right back. Are we going for Wan-Bissaka?
I'm going Dalot.
This is is this predicted or what we would play?
Well, we would play because we've been talking about up front we're kind of weak, so I think this is what we would go for. Hello.
Okay, Dalot for me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Back pairing. What are you guys going for?
Varane and Lindelof.
Is that unanimous?
I think it has to be. Well, I think my preferred centre back pairing would be Varane and Eric Bailly. I know Lindelof is getting a lot of love, but I think there are some players you need to be actually quite subtle to appreciate, like Marcel and Matic. And I think there are some players you need to be actually quite subtle to dislike as well. And I think Lindelof is one of those. And I think Maguire has been so bad that actually Lindelof looks decent. He's actually good on the ball. He has a good passing, but he makes me nervous. I think Varane and Bailly is probably our best centre half pairing, but you can't pick Bailly. So you have to go with Lindelof.
This one's probably gonna be. It's crazy. I say Telles all day, but I'm gonna give it to Shaw just because it will be a physical game. It will be a battle, and I don't think Telles has got to that level yet to kind of warrant maybe starting this game. This would almost break Telles, but again, I'm going for Shaw just because it'll be more physical. But that's the only reason why I'll play him. If it was a normal other game, I would have played Telles, but I would go with Luke Shaw. What are you guys going for?
Yeah, Shaw as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just
about. Go with Shaw as well.
He looks better a little bit when he plays with the back line. That's this back line, not with Maguire, which is crazy. Right, who are we going for the base?
Matic. Simple.
You guys going Matic?
Matic?
Yeah.
I wouldn't start Matic personally, but I'm literally one of Matic's biggest fans. But my game plan doesn't mean Matic starts. I would bring Matic on after an hour personally, but
yeah, I think we want Matic, but I think it will be McTominay that goes into that 6. I just know it.
Yeah.
Tomlin's
What
been
we
out for a
say-
bit
I hear what
though
you're
as well.
Yeah.
yeah, he's had an
So
illness.
you know what it's
hasn't he?
like, though, isn't it? You know what it's like, but they just put their, you know what I mean? They just say, yeah, he's ready. Right. Let's go. Let's put, what are we going for the 2 8s?
Fred and Pogba.
Oh,
Fred and
he's dropping
Pogba for me.
Bruno.
No, I'm playing Bruno for the
100%.
forward.
Yeah, you can always play Bruno further forward if you want.
Cool. Oh, to be fair, no. I'm always thinking, because,
This guy Saeed, man, and him switching.
yeah, I'm
Saeed
always
loves
switching
his
this.
website, you know.
Yeah, it's a good website, man. They need to sponsor me still. I don't know why they're not. You know what I mean? Right, cool. What are we doing here?
I think we all agree on Sancho and Elanga.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, are you really putting? But the thing is, it depends how you do this, though, innit? Like, you know, if you put Bruno here, right? How then are you doing this formation? Would you
Drop
then
Bruno a bit deeper.
Bruno a bit deeper? And then you play the 2 split strikers.
Yeah.
You could do a diamond if you wanted to.
That's a diamond,
Well,
basically.
Diamond, didn't it?
What you could
Yeah.
also do is you could have Sancho and Elanga as wide players, and you might, when we're off the ball, you might have a 4-5-1. You see that, or 4-1-4-1 with Bruno the highest.
Yeah.
Bruno is very good at starting the press as well, and Sancho and
Yeah.
Elanga are good at that as well. So that might work actually. Those three, the front three of pressing, that could work in certain areas.
That could work, yeah. But mainly it should be this when we're in attack. And then hopefully these guys will split and then allow Bruno to get in here and use his space. And then we could just compact this midfield with Matic.
But you know what,
and then Fred. Yeah.
I don't get the thinking behind playing Bruno as the 9 or false 9 or in between.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me because why are we not playing Ronaldo? Because he can't hold the ball like Martial.
Nah, I
So
think
you're
it's
telling me that
more
Bruno
like
can-
Bruno. I'm not. When I say Bruno in that role, it's not necessarily him on the ball's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. It's off the ball. Bruno's going to offer a lot more in terms of him running, pressing, all of that stuff.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
That's why I would go
could
with
do.
Bruno
Yeah,
over
but-
Ronaldo. But I do know what you're saying.
No,
Yeah, because now
Cool.
so who's in charge of scoring the goals? Because when you think of Sancho and Elanga, you can't put that responsibility on Elanga. You expect him to pass and make a play, and
hopefully-
maybe he get on the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
exactly.
hopefully think that, the wingers can help Pogba. It depends how much work he's having to do off the ball, whether he's restricted to kind of go. It might be that literally that these 3 sit, and then these 3 are the ones that are attacking, and then that's what it becomes. Maybe
But
that's
like,
Yeah,
know,
but so
as silly as it
it's-
sounds, though.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Sorry, go on, Adam. No, you go.
No. I said in that case, in that situation, would I much rather have the goal scorer that Ronaldo is? Because Ronaldo has missed chances. But if I have to put money on Bruno or Ronaldo, I put my money on Ronaldo every time because I think he's the better goal scorer. So Bruno doesn't give me the hold up play that, for example, Martial or someone else gives us. So what is basically differentiating the two of them? Not much, maybe, except I get the work off the ball, but then you need to think as well, like, on the ball what happens, especially if you have Diego Dalot, Elanga, and you have 2 creators out wide and wingers. I'd much rather have like, this is the thing.
Yeah, big up to Saeed.
No,
there for-
see Rashford, man. We fully if we had Rashford on his game,
I know
game,
this
man,
would have
this
been
would be
perfect. Perfect,
the goal
mate.
scoring winger kind of thing.
Yep. But again,
Like, as silly as it sounds,
Yeah,
I
because
know
we
what
don't-
Adam's saying. But we don't need to score many goals. Like, we don't need to score a goal. And as silly as this sounds, we don't need to have a goal scorer, a number 9 on the pitch until the last 20, 30 minutes. We can score goals with what we've got. We might get a goal. Well, a set piece. We know we've scored.
stop,
I think we
man.
scored 1 this
this
season.
is all your fault, man. You say it with Shaw and you say it with Rashford on his game.
I know, but
you need to stop this, man.
No, but it is true that on his day, Rashford would have been perfect.
But when is this on his day, man? Please.
Listen, Saeed, I hear that, yeah, but that's why I'm not playing Rashford because I don't trust his day.
Yeah.
His day coming.
His day, man. The day never come. The day may never come. Right, let's do combined 11.
No.
Oh my god.
Let's do combined 11. Right.
Oh dear.
Statman, bring out the thingy so then you can do yours first.
You want to do it on this website here? Creative.
Yeah, do it on the website here. And then everyone, if you can get the website, can you put the link in the chat, Statman? So that everyone can get one and then they can do one.
Calm. There.
So, combined 11 people. This is Statman's combined 11.
See, I'll be honest, yeah.
Are we doing ours as well? Yeah.
Yeah, do it after this one. So after this one, then
Okay.
Charlie, then Adam, you go last.
I'm personally going Edison in goal.
Okay.
Because everyone knows that's what I look for more in a keeper. Right back, I'm going Kyle Walker.
So you think Edison's better keeper than De Gea?
From what I look for in a keeper, innit?
Okay, that's your opinion.
The same way you look at shot stopping a lot more for keepers.
Yep, absolutely.
Left back, I think Cancelo. Are we doing players who are fit? So we're including Ruben Diaz in this? Because Ruben Diaz is
I suppose. Do we do it fit or?
Yeah. This is everything. This is everything, bro. It's everything.
Okay.
Like no form. That's why again, people that look when I said it. There's no form. There's no nothing. I'm just picking the better players.
And Diaz and Varane get in. I think then it has to be Rodri.
There you go.
Then this is where it gets hard, isn't it?
So it gets hard, man. So it's getting hard.
I think Bernardo Silva has to get in, innit? He's been one of the standout players in the Premier League this year.
Over who?
Over Kevin De Bruyne.
Over Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, yeah.
Or is it over Full Pogba? I don't know. That's tough, you know.
That's tough.
I can't lie. This might be United bias, innit? But I'll probably say Paul Pogba. But I know, like, City fans are definitely going to disagree with this. But saying that, honorable mention to Gundogan as well. I think he's quality.
Oh, yeah, honorable mention. Yeah, absolutely.
Front three. Oh, my God, man. This is hard. I think Sterling has to get in. Because I think in terms of attackers, he's been one of City's best attackers this year. Flipping hell,
Sterling
man.
over who?
Nah, you lot made me go first to this, you know.
Yo, listen, this is what we call, man. This is just, this is combined 11.
Nah, you see, this is hard. Because I'm gonna put Sterling somewhere. Mahrez, oh my God. Nah, it's hard, you know. There's a lot of
composure, man. Stop, man. Just composure. Nobody should judge anybody, by the way, because this is not about judging. This is about football opinion, people. Everybody have their football opinion, and I'm gonna do this on a calling show one day. By the way, we're gonna do it like a fun one day, the international break. They're all gonna pick your favorite 11, so don't worry about that, people. But go on.
I can't lie, you probably have to go with Sterling over Sancho if we're talking about this season, isn't it?
No, but I said to you, no, it doesn't have to be this season. Just general. It's about as a player.
Flipping, I hate you Zaid so much right now. If we're talking general as a player, then Ronaldo gets in because Ronaldo's one of the greatest.
That's where you go, then, isn't it? And you can base it on whatever you want because at the end of the day, it doesn't always have to be form.
And then
it's combined 11 right now for who plays in this current team, this current season.
No, look, you have a 4-3-3 season. You know what? Look, you have a 4-3-3, so make sense. Like, how do you understand the formation? What player do you think fits the best? What do you think makes the most coherent sense as a team? Which team you think would be actually the hard team to beat? It doesn't mean to be necessarily like I won't pick Bernardo Silva, but I think he's an absolute gem of a player. But I think it would make more sense to pick some others. So, what do you feel?
Oh, see, Saeed's setting me up. You know, I feel like Saeed's setting me up.
Bro, I don't set anyone up. You can do whatever you want.
You know what? I think I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I think Sterling's been brilliant this season, isn't it? I'll go with Sterling.
Okay.
But I can't lie. Personally, for me, I would not be going with Cristiano Ronaldo for to win this season.
Listen, it's a combined 11. You know what I mean? You could have put Sterling up front. You know what I mean? And that would have been a false 9. But you put Ronaldo.
I would have gone
there.
with Foden over Ronaldo
Up front.
in the false 9 thing.
Okay. Over the goat. Okay.
No, but you said
Yeah,
we're
but
not
he proved
talking
the
just
false
about
9.
the season.
But yeah, people, just tell the people your team then, Statman.
Edison, Cancelo, Varane, Diaz, Walker, Rodri, Bernardo, Pogba, and then Sterling, Ronaldo, Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
As the front 3.
That's your team, right? You take your down. Charlie, you share your one if you can. Do you know how to do it? Just share it.
Yeah.
Cool. This is all about
Saeed
opinion,
got
people.
me dirty, making me go first.
No, but it wasn't. It's just,
Can you
I'm
see
share
that?
my team, by the way. Sorry?
Can you see it?
No. If you share it, and then it should come up. If you go on the Chrome tab.
Chrome tab, right? I got you.
And then click on that one.
I've got you.
Yeah, there we are. Right.
There
you
are.
go.
Right.
Fire away.
Yeah. Look, David De Gea is a great shot stopper, but for me, I agree with Statman. I prefer a more modern goalkeeper. I think Edison's a lot better with his feet, claims things better. He does come off his line sometimes when he shouldn't, though. I think he does it a bit too much sometimes, but overall, I think it will contribute better to the team. So I'm going with Edison. We'll go right back. Kyle Walker, pretty simple, really.
Yep.
Diaz.
Told you, Charlie, it ain't easy.
Diaz, it's got to be Diaz. If we're going of what they've done in their career, then obviously we've got to pick Varane. And then at left back, obviously Cancelo.
Yep. Easy.
I could change the formation. Hang on.
Yeah.
Nah, this is probably the best. So I think you've got to go for Rodri.
Yep. Very underrated for me.
In terms of our whole career, I think Matic. I choose Matic, but obviously at the moment you choose Rodri. But I think Matic is actually such an underrated player in Premier League history. Actually, I think a lot of people don't realise how good he actually has been. The thing is, I would go on.
No, I'm sorry. I just said for the 4-3-3, he's just not that type of player, but he's absolute quality Matic, 100% agree with you, bro.
Oh God, you're not going to like this much, but I'm going to go with De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And Bernardo Silva.
Oh, Pogba's out.
Look, Pogba. Look, I think Pogba's a great player, but in terms of what they've done in their, I know he's won a World Cup, but for Manchester, if we're talking about for what they've done for their clubs, I mean, you can't really dispute that, can you? Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Premier League titles. And then I go for Sterling. As I said, I rate Sancho a lot, but I think Sterling's done very, very well. And then I've got a choice, really. Foden. I could have Foden or Mahrez on the right. And then I think you've got to go with Ronaldo. So I go with... it's a tough one, isn't it? Mahrez or Foden?
Tough one.
Here's a tough one.
Tough one.
Oh, I'm going to go with Mahrez.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Ronaldo up front. That's it.
The main man.
This is, if it was actually in terms of, I think Ronaldo would score a lot more goals for Man City. I think he'd get a lot better. I think he'd have tap-ins. I think he'd get so many tap-ins from there. They always get back to the byline and cut it back. I think he gets so many goals that way. So that's my team.
Fair enough. Sensible lineup. Let's have Adam, the main man.
Yeah. I just try to work this. How do you share this?
So you share it and then you open it up in the Chrome tab and then you use that tab. Big up to everybody watching, people. Hit the like button on the video. I'm going to show you my team and then everyone's going to go mad. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, people. You know what I mean? I just put it up. I don't know how many quote tweets has it got, people, now on Twitter.
Let me see.
I hope he gets about 1,000, man. I hope he gets 1,000, 2,000. You know what I mean? Because it just shows you. I've done a social therapy, social what do you call it?
He's on 201 right now.
201. That's it, man. Let's get to 1,000 people. But yeah, people.
So
Adam, this is your. Sorry.
Yeah. So is it working all right? Yeah, you see it all right?
Yeah. I can see. Yeah. If you go start on the keeper, then.
Okay, good. Keeper Edison as well for the same reasons you guys said. Yeah. Fairly easy to me, this one, to be honest. Right back, I would go with Walker as well. Center back, I'd have to go here with okay, so this one, Diaz.
Yeah.
Fairly easy. Second one has to be Rafa Varane.
Yeah.
Left back, I'd agree with you as well. Has to be Cancelo. Good. So CM, the first one here. I have to go with Rodri as well from the players we have available and everything in the two squads. I think he's the most suited for that position, to be honest. Okay, here on the left, I'll have Paul Pogba. Fairly easy for me as well. I think it's 2. Second one I'll have with Kevin De Bruyne. And now this is the thing where we need to make sense of the formation as well. So on the right, I'd play Jadon Sancho. On the left, I'd go with Phil Foden. And as a striker, I will go with Cristiano Ronaldo because this is the team that looks the most like the Pep Guardiola team that won with 100 points. And if you take a look at Pep historically, the way they play, when he has a striker like Sergio Aguero, he has Sterling on the right and Leroy Sané on the left because he has a fox in the box. So you have De Bruyne on the right, David Silva on the left, the left-footed on the left, the right-footed on the right, Sterling on the right, Leroy Sané on the left because he has Aguero. So the way they play, everything converges towards the center. So if you don't have, and when they don't have Sergio Aguero and they play with Jesus or with a false 9, notice what happens. Raheem Sterling moves to the left because now that space is empty. So you have the right-footed player on the left, and then you play Bernardo and Villas on the right because you don't have the space. You have the space to come in because you don't have a real proper number 9 like Sergio Aguero, for example. So if you play with Ronaldo, I want Foden and Sancho stretching it to make tap-ins. This is when we say Ronaldo will score a lot of tap-ins with City, they would adjust their play so they have players who can actually tap it in straight into the box. So if we play, for example, someone else, if we don't play Ronaldo as a 9, well, then I would play Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva. Then I would play Sancho on the left or Sterling. Just to make it as a whole to make sense, this is the team that looks to me the most like the City team that won with 100 points in 17-18. So this is what my
that's for me. That's probably the best team out of the 3. If I was to pick a team, that would be a very, very good team. Right, that's your team. So we're gonna remove that one. Then I'm gonna show you my one. The team that I picked for the combined 11. There we have it, people. David De Gea, as you know, best keeper in the world. Needs no more introduction, people. Kyle Walker, ever present, always available. Is what it is. Diaz, monster, crazy animal. Varane, Champions League Varane. Cancelo,
come on.
You know what he's about. Rodri, for me, very, very underrated. You know, doesn't get enough praise for me. It is what it is. Paul Labile Pogba. The reason why, man, there's a lot of people who just disrespect Pogba. So I thought, you know what? Let's put him in there, man. Why not? You know what I mean? Gets disrespected by the City fans, especially City fans as well. De Bruyne, world class. You know what I mean? Sometimes he does get away with bad performances, but on the whole, very, very good midfielder. Riyad Mahrez, he's an absolute killer, absolute killer on that right-hand side. I think he's City's top scorer, I think he is. So I'll go with Mahrez on the right. Sancho on the left, another one. Based on talent, is he better than Sterling? Based on talent. That's a question I want to ask. So I put Sancho in there. And then Ronaldo up front purely. Sorry?
No, I said it's clear
What
to
did you
me.
say, yeah, exactly.
No, I said
It's clear
Sancho
to
is
you. Yeah, exactly. And then I put Ronaldo up top because City don't have a striker. So end of the day, I'm not doing no false nines. Even though, again, I call Ronaldo finished, but doesn't mean in a combined 11 where, Adam talks about tappings, we're putting him in there. It has caused an absolute crazy
Saeed's the
carnage.
same guy that last week was like to be stat man. Is your goat finished?
But again, the thing is, he might be finished, but in a combined 11 for this season, if City had got him, like Adam says, they would be having tap-ins for him. I think they would be maybe tailing towards Ronaldo's needs. At United, he kind of looks for me lost. He looks for me like he's finished because of the day, we just don't have the abilities and we don't have the facilities for Ronaldo. It's as simple as that. I'm going to ask everybody, what do you like about my team? What do you don't like about me? Statman, start with you.
Saeed, go through the quote tweets.
No, I'm not going to go through the quote tweets.
I think that's going to say about your team. I think having De Gea over Edison, I've already said I don't agree with it. The midfield, you can make a claim, I'll be honest. I think having Sancho over Sterling right now, I think is a bit mad. I think you
haven't based it on form, though. Haven't based it on form.
Nah, but then if you're basing it on career and stuff, then Sterling's had a better career than Sancho.
Not career as well. I could base it on talent. Talent.
I don't know, man. Saeed. Listen, everyone's in there. I personally disagree with it. You see my combined 11. Saeed, you do you.
There you go. Charlie, what do you think of my team?
Yeah, I agree. Look, David De Gea, I think he's a Man United legend. I think he's a fantastic shot stopper. But, and there is a but, the eye test and the stats come together and prove that his distribution is very poor, very, very poor. Yeah. And he doesn't claim things. He makes the defense more anxious because he doesn't take command of his area. I honestly think we shouldn't offer him a new contract because I think if we do, I think he's going to be our keeper for 3-4 years. And I don't think we can go that way. I don't think that is right. I do think we need a new goalkeeper at some point, a more modern goalkeeper. At the back four, I'd agree with Rodri, De Bruyne. Look, Bernardo Silva always goes under the radar because he doesn't score loads of goals, but his actual overall game is actually incredible. His work rate, his tenacity. Bernardo Silva is just a wonderful footballer. His dribbling, his passing. And, for Pogba, for me, he's one of my favourite players. But if we're talking about what they've done in a Man United shirt and in a Manchester City shirt, I don't think you can argue against putting Bernardo Silva in ahead of Pogba for what they've done in a Manchester United or City shirt. In terms of overall players, I'd have them both in there in terms of their actual talent. But for me, De Bruyne gets in ahead of Pogba for what he's done for Man City. And then the front three, you could argue, I think Sancho is fantastic. But for what they've done in a City or United shirt, I think you have to put Sterling in ahead. But in terms of general talent, I agree. I think Sancho on the ball is better than Sterling. Therefore, I would pick it. But if we're talking about what they've done for their respective clubs, I would put Sterling in there, personally.
Yeah, man. Like I said to you, it's all about opinion. That's why I just put it in there. Have you noticed, I didn't even put a second comment. Statman always like to say that I sometimes put a second comment in there. There was no second comment. I just thought, let me just put this out
You're
there.
You're getting cooked too much, man. There was no coming back.
There's no coming back, man. So I just thought, you know what? I feel like, you know what I mean? It's a Friday, man. Let me just put that out there, and let me just put a combined 11 out there. That's going to rattle a few people. You would argue Bernardo needs to be in there, but again, over who? Maybe Pogba, but again, Pogba, you're looking at his career more than the actual player. Sancho over Sterling, I can hear that one. But then again, maybe, you base it on talent again. Foden, Sancho, people like Sancho, people like Foden. My preference is Sancho. And Mahrez one was easy for me. You're not going to put any other player in there. Mahrez is clear for me on that right side. And also, Ronaldo up front, like I said to you, it's not the Ronaldo of old, but if I had put Foden up front and Ronaldo's on the bench, I'd give you... This is why human beings are so funny, and this is why we're all different. If I put something in there and I didn't put Ronaldo in there, everyone would be like, oh, no Ronaldo, you're going crazy. So that's why I put it in there. That's what it's all about, having an opinion. So, people, that's my team. Let's get predictions in before we wrap up, people. Nearly 500 is watching. Manchester United versus Man City. I think I've changed my prediction about 1,000 times, but I'm going to go with 2-1 United. I don't know how, I don't know why, but 2-1 United. Adam, what do you go for?
Bro, I think I'll go with the. Depends on if Harry Maguire plays, we can see. I'm absolutely 100% sure about it. So, and I would expect him to play. So, or I'd go with a 2-2. 2-2. Just because
2-2.
I think we can't get a clean sheet, but I think we can actually score if we are on it. So it's going to be a difficult game. 2-2. But God give me strength if Harry Maguire plays.
Oh, listen, it could be another demolition job down there if he plays. Charlie, what are you going for?
Exactly. I was going to say the same as Adam, 2-2 actually. I think that we will score, but I don't trust us to keep a clean sheet, and I think it'll be quite a hectic game. I think it will be quite hectic. So I'm going to go for 2-2 as well.
Yeah, big up to Andy. He says 2-1 United. Big up to everybody who's putting their comments in. Statman Mays, you're the man. Give us a definitive answer.
2-1 United. I got 2-1 United. I got faith in the boys at the Etihad.
Etihad, man, it's a different story, people. For me, at the Old Trafford, probably the worst game I've ever watched. In terms of how easy it was. But listen, people, 3-0 City. Yeah. 3-2 United. Centurions, obviously City fan. Blue MCFC says City 2-0. 4-1 Talk Trends. 2-1 Georgia B.
I don't think we get battered.
No, I don't think we will. Yeah, I shouldn't talk, man. I shouldn't talk. You know what? Skull Fugger is always watching something, man. So, people, we're gonna wrap it up here, people. Please, guys, smash a like on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm gonna go around and let the people know where they can find you. Adam, starting off with you, brother. Where can they find you?
Yeah, on Twitter at AdamManRed, and on your shows when we can actually make it, and on Hash and Rants as well. So, but mostly Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have my own platform, so if people want to follow, it's there.
Absolutely. And also, Charlie, mate, where can they find you?
Yeah, just Threadman Chazza on Twitter. I'm gonna produce a bit of work soon about the summer. Who I think we should sign. You know what's going to happen to the squad. So check it out if you like. It'll be in the next few weeks or so.
Brilliant. Check it out, people. Make sure you tune in for that one. And Statman Baines, man. You got anything coming up tomorrow, today? What's going on?
I don't think so. Well, obviously, just follow the Twitch, follow the YouTube, and if there is, you'll be notified.
Big up, man. Big up to you. Big up to everybody who's watching, people. Hit the like button on the video on your way out. I'll see you on Sunday for the watch-along, people. It's going to be carnage in the house, man. Man City, Man United. You might hear City fans celebrating in the background, but it is what it is, people. It's going to be carnage. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. And we're out, people. Take care. Bye-bye.